to do something here. I hope it will not break. What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? I heard it also.
Central radiator.
Yeah. Nobody's heard. Mojo Blues Bar in Copenhagen, Løngangsstræde. I love that place. I play there from time to time, and it's a really different place because all kinds of people come there. So every night is different, and I met people from all over the world in this small. It's not very big. It's a small club, and you know it's allowed to smoke inside. Still there, and actually they just stopped it, and the walls are yellow. I don't know if they painted them yellow, but they are yellow, and it's a fantastic place. You know, small place. You can imagine Friday nights, Saturday nights, they put on a band there, and it's loud as hell, and people are dancing like crazy. You know, it's like you can feel the sweat coming down from the wall. It's like a sauna in there, and but solo guys like me, we play the Sundays. And Sundays can be really different. And it's a great place, Mojo, but it's also a very dangerous place because there are no windows. And it's open till 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a very dangerous combination if you think about it, because you can sit there and you listen to some music and you talk to some friends, drink some beer, talk a little more, drink, talk, drink, talk, drink, talk. And at some point you get tired and you want to go home. You go towards the door, you reach for the door, you open the door, and the sun hits you in the face. It's no longer evening. It's morning and you're just walking directly into this morning traffic of Copenhagen. You feel like a zombie. And yeah, Sundays are very different, and for me it was more fun to make a song about a very strange night. At Mojo's, or maybe it was morning, because normally it's pretty packed, but in the morning it gets very empty, and this was a very empty situation. We were just 4 guys hanging in the bar, talking, drinking, talking. And in comes this one girl, and she goes directly to the small dancing floor of Mojo's, starts dancing. And she's incredibly drunk. She's really drunk. And she tries to get eye contact with one of us guys, and we just let her dancing. My imagination ran wild, and I wrote this song about this poor girl in the wrong place, the wrong time. Called it Loneliness. It goes like this, hope you like it. She's dancing on the barroom floor, though her body cannot take no more. With her head hung down, still you can see her eyes. In the sparse light, it's hard to tell if she smiles or cries. With her white wine breath and her sweaty hair, She's a mindless drunk, but she does not care. All the cigarettes that she inhales makes her throat go sore and her colors fade. She's waiting for her prince to come, but her timing is off and the place is wrong. So wrong. There is no one here who will take her hand. There is no one here who will be her man. There's no window here, but you can tell it's late by the emptiness of this dark and smoky place. Whoa, now she ought to leave, but she's dancing on, terrified by the thought of sleeping alone. Whoa, terrified by the thought of sleeping alone. Now I have to go back. I have a friend. And he lives in Strasbourg. His name is Benjamin Theoval. And Benjamin, we met in Fuerteventura. He's a real one-man band. We just played different town squares and bars and small ferries going from here to there, and just had a good time. We became friends, and Benjamin is like 72 years old and a skinny guy with panic white curly hair, and he plays the guitar and he sings, and he has this harmonica on a rack, and with one foot he plays the bass drum and the hi-hat, and with the other foot he found some small bass pedals from a small organ so he can play the bass over here. So it's totally crazy. He's very concentrated when he plays, and it sounds fantastic when he plays songs like San Francisco Bay Blues and does all this at once. I think it was 2 years ago I was booked to play a gig in something called Gundelfinken in south of Germany. Gundelfinken. And I looked at the map at home and I saw that Gundelfinken is a small town near something called Freiburg. And Freiburg is close to Strasbourg. So we thought about, okay, Carola and me, we just go there and we visit Benjamin on the way to Gundelfinken. So we drive down there. In the afternoon we go to Benjamin, his brother's there, and we have some coffee and we talk a little bit, and then we had to go earlier before Benjamin and his brother. They also want to see the show, but they wait a little bit. They have stuff to do before. And we start driving towards this Gundelfinken, and about half an hour before we will arrive to this Gundelfinken, we put on the navigation system, and it says Gundelfinken 3.5 hours. There's more than one Gundelfinken in Germany. I found out there's 3. And we were on the way to the wrong one. So, not good. And there was no way we could make it to the other Gundelfinken near Ulm, way out east. And Roel had to call the guy. He was not happy. We couldn't make it. And the guy from the venue, this Kulturgewächshaus, it's called in Germany, Culture Glass House. Anyway, that was problem number 1. Then we had problem number 2. Benjamin was coming to see the show also with his brother. You know, the only thing is that Benjamin is old-fashioned. He's very analog, so he doesn't have a cell phone. So there was no way we could reach him. So the only thing we knew was that he drove a red Berlingo. So we started driving 50 kilometers an hour on this autobahn, this highway, and just watching the other cars go like. Berlingo, no. Berlingo, no. Berlingo, yes. Red, no. Slowly we get closer to this wrong Gundelfinken, and luckily it's very small. So there's this ring road around this small Gundelfinken, and we drive around there for just waiting to see Benjamin around an hour. And we are just about to give up, and suddenly we see this red Berlingo in front of us with Benjamin's head sticking out of the window asking someone about this venue that's not there. And yeah, we meet and we go for pizza in Gundelfinken, and then we go home to Frederikshavn. So, it's true. But if you ever go to this small Gundelfinken near Freiburg, they have a very good pizzeria. You know. I wrote a song for my friend Benjamin Segova. It's called Benjamin and His One-Man Band. Goes like this. Hope you like it. Benjamin and his one-man band. Story about a real blues man, they're traveling all across the land. See, when Benji starts to sing the blues in the air, oh, when he starts to sing, blues is all in the air. Plugging his rusty strings, now sweet music everywhere. He played the harp, played drums with his feet, singing of the Frisco Bay. Singing of the San Francisco. Play the stage, play the street, that got your campaign. Days in the times of the young and free. Oh, back in the days, in the times of the young and free. He'd go all the way down to India, see what there was to see. Live the life of day by day, wearing out his walking shoes. Walking shoes. Bad up 12 sticking his hands. Now tell me about My baby blue, you know I'll be true. Ain't fooling around, girl, ain't cheating you, ain't cheating you, I ain't cheating you. Sometimes I'm gone all night long. Just have to trust me, I won't do no wrong. Won't do no wrong, I won't do no wrong. I'll bring you flowers, oh, treat you right. Just have to bear in mind, I'll be gone at night. I'll be gone at night. I'll be gone at night. It's time to leave now, baby, don't you try to make it hard for me to say goodbye. Say goodbye, say goodbye. And leaving, when the moon is full, you know I'll be somewhere thinking of you now, my baby blue, my baby blue. gonna play one of my first songs here, and I will have to ask you for some help here. I need to know the name of your local discotheque.
C'est bon.
Okay, this is a song about boy and a girl. Boy meets girl. Boy falls in love with girl. Girl does not know because boy doesn't have the guts to tell her. She just thinks they're friends, and together they go as friends to Café de Amer. And she's flirting around with the sound guy and the bartender and all the guys.
Ronnie.
And he's just standing there next to her waiting for her to see his love. I wrote this song about 13 years ago and he's still waiting. Goes like this. Easy, babe. Easy, babe, it will be alright. Easy, babe, it will be alright. And I want to hold you close to me tonight. Now you fool around, baby, just take your time. Around, baby, just take your time. Somehow, girl, I'm gonna find a way to make you mine. Well, one day, baby, open your eyes and see. Oh, one day, girl, open your eyes and see. I'm well aware that you're the one for me, one for me. Well, girl, that guy you're fooling around with right now, I'm gonna tell you something about him. He won't do you no good. He won't do no good. He won't treat you like a proper man, he should. Tell you what, you know it takes your love and your money too. Oh, takes your loving and your money too. It's clear to see that he's mistreating you, mistreating you. girl, and it won't be long. She will call out his name just to find him gone, find him gone. Well, easy, baby. Easy, baby, now. Oh, easy, baby. Alright. It will be alright. Be alright. Dank u wel. It's time for the last song here. Here's a farewell song. It's like this. It is time for me to go. I hope you enjoy the show. Time has come for me to bid you all farewell. Fare thee well, fare thee well. Time has come for me to bid you all farewell. I will sing this lonesome song. Tomorrow I'll be gone, and I hope someday our paths will cross again. Cross again, cross again. I hope someday our paths will cross again. See the moon in the skies. Time to say goodbye. Tomorrow we will see a brand new day. A brand new day. A brand new day. Tomorrow we will see a brand new day. Brand new day. day. Tomorrow we will see a brand new day. Ja.
Prachtige, mooie middag toch, mensen, of niet? Mooie muziek, mooie verhalen, geweldig gitaarspel. It took 9 years that you were here. 8 or 9 years. Well, let's make sure it will not take another 8 or 9 years that you return. Toch? We have a tradition here in the Amer that some of the audience will say a few words to you on behalf of the audience. En Ties, mag ik je naar voren roepen? Sorry? Ja.
Okay, Tim, it was a pleasure to listen to your music. On behalf of the audience, I'd like to thank you. It was a pleasure to listen to your short stories, so we could understand what your songs are about. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Maybe I think we also enjoyed it. When I listened into the songs between, it was very quiet in the room. So I think the people were concentrating, listening to your songs. So, on behalf of the audience, I'd like to thank for your great performance tonight, of this afternoon. And maybe I think everybody in this room like to wish another song to listen as end of this great afternoon.
Then I will slip into something totally different here. I started out as a drummer. I was a drummer in many blues bands in Denmark, and we also played a little bit in Germany and stuff like that. And also, yeah, I was also a drummer in the blues band who played actually in Netherlands and Belgium, this Lightning Mo, if anyone ever, it's a long time ago. So, but whatever. I was a drummer, and about 13, 14 years ago, I played with a guy in a small trio. I played the drums, he played guitar and sang. And one day he invited me up for a glass of wine, and he put on some music that totally changed my life. He put on some old acoustic Mississippi Delta blues, Robert Johnson. And I never heard that music before, and I just was like, it changed my life, and I went out and bought myself a guitar and started practicing. And now I sit here with a guitar. And, yeah. Now I feel like playing some of this old stuff, because then what happened was that I was curious about this Robert Johnson, but I want to go back even further to the source, and I found some guy called Charlie Patton. Charlie Patton was before Robert Johnson, and he was a small skinny guy, drank like a horse, and he played this music. I bought this CD on the internet back then and waited for it to come from America, and it came, and I was like, oh, now I'm gonna hear it. I heard this Robert Johnson was fantastic, now I'm gonna hear Charlie Patton. Put it on, and what I heard was something like this. And I started wondering, because then I looked at the time of the recordings, and I looked at the Robert Johnson recordings and the Charlie Patton recordings. They were not so far from each other, and that was a little strange. And then I found out later that, like today, there's good quality and bad quality. You know, and Charlie Patton was on a record label called Paramount. And Paramount, they just used bad wax, cheap wax, and you know, you could play the record for some times, and then it was scratchy. And this is what they found later and tried to put together. Then I found out about Charlie Patton, listened again and again, and I found this beautiful music inside of it, and started looking into other directions of this old music, and I found someone called Gus Cannon. And Gus Cannon, he played the banjo, and he played something called the jug. It's like a ceramic bottle, flashy, because back then, you know, not everybody could afford a guitar, these former slaves. So some of them, they figured out, what can we play then? You know, some played the washtub bass and found out, you know, and all of them played more or less really good harmonica, but you know, you cannot have a band of only harmonicas. You can, but it can be a very long evening. So this was one instrument, you know, just buying this liquor. There was liquor inside of this thing, you know, you bought it, you drank it, and then you had an instrument. That's practical, you know. Only bad thing is that, you know, if you play and there's a stone floor and you drop it on the floor, it's broken, you know, then you have to buy a new one and drink all over again. But Gus Cannon, he played the jug and he played the banjo, and he lived to be around 104 years old, I think, and so it's very healthy to play the banjo. And he wrote this song, and you might actually know this song but this song is over 70 years old, written by Gus Cannon, and it got famous later by some other people. And I'm gonna sing it, the lyrics more or less like he did it, so you will recognize it, but it will not be totally the same, but it doesn't matter. If you want to sing, you can sing. If you don't, you don't. And if you want to dance, there's space. It goes like this. Walk right in, sit right down, baby, let your mind roll on. Walk right in, stay a little while, but not daddy, don't stay too long. Everybody's talking about a new way of walking. Do you want to lose your mind? Walk right in, sit right down, baby, let your mind roll on. Walk right in, sit right down, baby, let your mind roll on. Walk right in, stay a little while, but not daddy, don't stay too long. Everybody's talking about a new way of walking. Do you want to let your hair hang down. Walk right in, sit right down. Baby, let your hair hang down. Oh, everybody's talking about a new way of walking. Do you want to lose your mind? Walk right in, sit right down. Baby, let your mind roll on. Let your mind roll on. Then I bought this record with something called, it was the Zoo Records, I think, and it was called the best there ever was. So I was really, looking forward to it. And I put it on, and it might as well have been called the weirdest that ever was. There was really some strange stuff in it. And I fell in love with this one strange song, really strange song. Written by a guy I don't know anything about. His name is Garfield Akers, that's all I know. Back then they recorded here and recorded there. What happened was, you know, you had this record player. And suddenly they could make this record player that was really cheap. And they had these catalogs where you could buy by per mail, you know, and these poor people from the south, the poor black people, they could suddenly afford to have a record player. What happened was that they wanted to hear their own music, of course. And, you know, the record companies up north, they found out, oh, there's money in this, so we have to go down and record some bluesmen. And they went down, and mostly they didn't know what they was looking for. They just went, you know, here, there, small town somewhere, there's a grocery store, let's ask him, do you know anyone? And just, you know, so they just recorded blindly sometimes. So this one guy was Garfield Akers, I guess, because I don't know anything about him. And if anybody does, please tell me. But this song I really like, and it's really different. It goes like this. Well, I rolled down a tumble, cried the whole night long. Well, I rolled down a tumble, cried the whole night long. Well, I wrote this morning, didn't know right from wrong. Have you ever woke up, find your sweet woman gone? Have you ever woke up, find your sweet woman gone? Then you wring your hands, I cry the whole night long. Well, I told my woman just before I left this town. Well, I told my woman just before I left this town. Don't let anybody tear out, well, out down.